does dates. Fall off a tree. All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back, and I'm a man of my word. So here we are. Let me get this situated just a bit there. All right, so while this is loading up, I'm going to take a moment to thank all of you, even in replay, for taking a moment of your precious time to be here and be a part of this precious family. Okay, this is not your average YouTube stream. Okay, this is something totally different. We discuss topics that are, well, way out there and very disturbing. So it's important that you stick around to the end of the show for the spiritual report, so the topics that we talk about do not bother you so much. Okay. All right. So, yes, I couldn't get much of anybody's time during the last 6.5 years during this process. So your time is very valuable to me. Here we go. 8/24/2024. And you can see our event that just blew off the top right there. Let's kind of position it here a little bit better for you guys. Also note this inflow down here at the very beginning. See this stuff going in, and then watch, you'll see a ricochet and stuff come off. So I believe stuff, what the inward looking stuff is stuff approaching, as the sun's going through a debris field or a bunch of these, smaller objects. It latches onto some. It seems that there was, after one of these objects, this kind of activity, like there's some kind of debris field behind it, and the sun's kind of bringing some of these smaller objects in. Some of them, bounce off and go this way. They ricochet in different directions. Just because it comes in at this direction does not mean it's going to come out the other side that way. It'll come in and bing, or come in and, go off at a different angle. But I think that's kind of what we're seeing here. Okay, so there's your activity for the moment right there. And really, we can't go frame by frame through this, but you pretty much see everything that's going on right there as it's moving. We'll touch on this activity on the top here really quick. But you can clearly see this moving in towards the sun, going against the solar wind, against any kind of activity. Same with down here. NASA, explain that. Some of these other channels, I'd like to see them address that subject and explain what's going on here. Well, if they can't, well, they need to come over here, because this to me looks to be, some of this debris field activity that, it's smaller. It approaches the sun. It bounces off the magnetic field and, goes out in different directions. All right. Meanwhile, note our big spire region growing right here. There's going to be something pretty intense come out of this region here pretty soon. It's been going like this for a minute now and getting bigger and bigger and stronger. So we'll have to see what happens in this region. Meanwhile, if you look up here on the red, watch when this event comes over the top here on the red. Let me scoot it over a little bit better for you guys. Oh yeah, mess it all up for him, Brian. There you go. One more time there. You can kind of see in the ghostly image there something going on. It's kind of washed out on this side, so we're going to try to go through it. You can see this black arch right there and stuff flowing over it. Watch when it comes out right in this region. And it doesn't do it that time. All right. That's right. It is swamp gas reflecting from the light of Mercury. You're just so much fun. I love my audience, you guys. It's funny because I used that on some cops one night that witnessed something. They came to harass me at the beach when I was watching some UFOs. They're like, Brian, what are you doing down here? Like, you know what I'm doing. They're like, no, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching the UFOs, you guys. They're like, yeah, ha ha, hee. And then they saw something, and well, that that they got a little unnerved. So I told them, don't worry, it's just swamp gas reflecting off the light of Mercury. And they're like, the beach is closed, get out of here. So I like that. That's a good one. All right, so I like to use it too. Anyways, let's get back to this. You guys are so much fun. I'm sorry. I'm doing the report and trying to interact with my chat. I love you guys, and I don't interact with you guys enough. So, anyways, back to our activity. I'd like to see anybody try to address this subject, and and say what's going on there. There's another channels out there that I watch and stuff. I'm not going to say some names, but I'd like to see them try to, explain what's going on there. And I gave you my explanation, okay? You should come over to this instrument and check this stuff out too. Okay, let me get started here. Thank you for cheering me up, you guys. All right, let's catch this opening frame. There it is, 024. Let me start marching away, you guys. Are awesome. You can't let the devil steal your joy. You can't. How are you going to fight back if you got no joy? So, try to laugh every once in a while. It's only round. It's only kind of moving in towards the sun, against the grain, against the flow. Here comes this one over here. You can see they get more defined as they move on in. All right, down here you see the little streak running through there, the Ahura Mazda thing streaking through there. It's a little debris tail that it leaves streaking through there. That's just a little, been there for years, flying around the sun. So anyways, I'm going forward, by the way. This stuff is not, I'm not going backwards. We're going forward here. This is moving backwards. Meanwhile, we got other ones bouncing out, coming over here. And don't worry, it's just swamp gas. This is Venus over here. It's reflecting off of Venus. You guys are awesome. Something going on over here, huh? Let's see what is that. As I get the show set up, I just kind of go through these really quick and just open up instruments, let them run or whatever, but I never really kind of checked stuff out yet. So there's a little weird kind of, well, I'm glad it's not showing up. You should come over here, and there's all kinds of spiritual events going on next to the sun. It's very reassuring for some. What the heck? Is this a guy right here standing with his head and his arm hanging down? Let's just kind of, and there's like light coming out of his chest right here. He's got a cane. His left hand. Looks like there's a halo over the head too up here. Let's go back one frame. And now try going forward. Sorry, just going to jump a little bit, but because we're zoomed in. Wow. I think maybe this frame right there, if we can get the head. I want to see what's going on above the head there. All right, that's as tight as we can go. Just very interesting shape here. We've seen some different stuff out of the sun in the last few days. That shield, okay, that was quite impressive. I'm still dealing with that one. I'm sure you guys are too. Oh, I meant to go zoom in on this one, but not much going on there. This is interesting. This almost looks like some kind of, like a man standing there. Oh, I know what you're showing me. Remember that one by the with the lightning and the shadow walking in the background? All right. And then you can see this one out here moving out. Here's the ghost image. Now let's go and zoom in on this ghost image here. You guys are got nothing else going on a Saturday night because I scoured the entire world for anything going on. Ta-da! There's your ghost image of your object surrounded with plasma. All right. So let's back on out to 125, and then that was the last frame. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get this back into motion, centralize it. Yeah, all kinds of weird behavior going on around the sun. Okay, what could live through that right there? What could live through that right there? You know what could live right through that right there. That's a clear indication of who that is. But we'll get to that in the spiritual part. Right now we're just doing the solar stuff. Okay, so come on over, check it out. You'll see some different kind of stuff going on besides just our spheroids interacting with the sun. Okay, now let's come on over to the solar ham. And first off, solar flux is down 10 points, but we're still way up there at 232, okay? We've seen it higher, a lot higher, but still in the red. We could use some more declining, but our sunspot number is 172. It's down 8. And our area still in the yellow. It's up 50. Ow, it's up 50, but it's doesn't really matter too much here. Why are you doing this now? When I click on this, I don't want a political ad. It starts to open a political ad when you click on a science instrument. You know society's sick and gone too far when you can't even just use an instrument without somebody trying to squeeze in some kind of ad. Okay, 3790 right there. 3792, still the heart shape with no other polarity around it. Okay, 3796, still kind of going strong right here. More central facing now. This one down here, 3800, is the awkward one. It's pointing way south. It's out of the latitudes, the regular latitudes, so it's an oddball. Okay, and that's the one that's been kicking out stuff. And we're going to even go a little tighter in on it because I don't think many people are paying attention to this thing right here. It's got this weird configuration in here. See? Red trying to surround blue again. A little bit in here. So this thing it's got one of those weird magnetic complex. It's not really intense yet, but it's very complex. So we'll have to watch that thing in the meantime. What is this playing in the background? Let me get rid of that really quick. Okay, so we'll have to watch this 3800. It's already been kind of active, and it's this oddball one, and that's where our spire is pointing out of, too. It's out of that region. And I told you those things act like, they act like, compass needles, magnetic needles that point at an inbound object. This is that big area combined with this one. These two kind of combine together and make this whole batch right here. See this pointing south? Okay, so this region and this region look to have, got a lot of flow coming out of them because there's something out there that's causing this weird, complex magnetic configuration and this weird, oddball, out of line sunspot. And then what did we see last week? Another oddball that was inverted polarity. Okay, we're seeing oddball stuff, not your typical sunspot activity. Yes or no? Good. We are seeing this, for instance, has no other polarity with it. It's a heart shape. It has no other configuration. It's very intense, but it has no other polarity. What is only polarized one side? Most things have an opposite and equal reaction. Not that one. Okay, so we're seeing out of the ordinary, well, let's just say, out of the ordinary stuff. Other than natural, which would make it supernatural, technically, if you defined it, other than natural would be supernatural. So that's not natural. These complex things, that inverted sunspot, this thing, are not natural. Look at this one all by itself in blue up here. Whoops, we can't do that on this. See, another kind of, we're getting some weird kind of new type activity because we're interfacing with this thing more and more. These things come in, they interact, and then they move out. You'll see a sunspot flare up, interact with something, and then go and then start to dissipate. The destroyer, yes, I can show you the destroyer. We'll do that in the spiritual, though, because you got to be ready for that stuff. Meanwhile, there's all your sunspots. Okay, what I want to do is come on over to your goes X-ray flux now and show you how fluxed we are. You got that one. All right, good. And I'm trying not to cuss these days, so. All right, here we go. Here's our activity. You saw at the end right there. Here's your boom, 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 3 in a row. And they're M-class. They're barely above it, but they are M-class flares. All right, so we did have some M-class activity today. And then it tapers off, and it comes down, and we have this one little bump right here. And we could go take a peek at this, but nobody cares to see that. I don't have time, so you guys don't even want to go over here and see what's possibly going on in the future right here at this thing. I would like to take a peek anyway, so suffer. All right, here we go. Wow. Yeah, what's going on here? And what? Oh boy, I wish I hadn't gone there. Now we gotta do a report on this. Meanwhile, you can see our thing down here still growing. Why'd you guys make me do that? I wanted to move on. You're like, no, show it. All right, here we go. Let's dissect this really quick here. Opening frame 024. We already have something going on up here. You see this round structure right here. Something back behind it, trailing behind it, sticking out right there. So these two, and you can see the sun still reacting, reaching out to these two objects right here. Can't pick which one. See, there's a little step in this right here, so it's wrapped around one and wrapped around another. And then we got this kind of flow over here showing something bigger going on back in here. And then this is about to erupt off the side. So sometimes we click on that. It doesn't look like there's much going on. And then you come over here and you need to sit down and take a deep breath. I want those top objects in there too. See that back one right there? See how stuff's reaching out and splaying around it right around there? If I can get this tilt screen to stay at the one sweet spot. All right. That one's out of the screen. Now, something's going on over here. This looking more like, well, you're going to be the judge of this. Looking kind of like a ship or saucer or something, maybe. Meanwhile, you can see something going on up here. A little round object right in the middle right there. Are these things heading to us or away or just around the sun? Mainly just around the sun. They do swing by, come by the planet, and sometimes brush up against our magnetic field. Okay, that was a good question. I like new questions and stuff. So, anyways, something going on right in here too. This is not your average shape, but you can see your V-shaped bow shock right here. Clear indication that there's some kind of object that has taken plasma, dragging it out, has a V-shaped bow shock on, has this wake on both sides going back down it. And then, you guys come over here too yourself and kind of pluck away at these frames and see what else you see. It's good when you tilt your head sometimes to the angle that the event is happening. So, like just 5 degrees to the left, or over here, tilt your head to the right, maybe 45 degrees. You can see them a little bit better if you kind of angled your eyes proportional to the event. A lot of the spiritual realm is at a 45-degree angle and goes unseen because everybody's head is straight. All right, so we're going to leave it right here at this frame for a second. A lot going on here, too. You see our little black spheroid right here. Okay, got plasma all around it, very dark spot right in the middle. Clear indication of our dark core. These cores so dense that they don't reflect light. Okay, they absorb light. When they go by the sun, they latch onto light, which is plasma. Okay, and they rip it off the sun. Here's one that's clearly you can see right here. Okay, there's something probably back behind it too. See this other flow going off of the bigger spheroid streaking out again right there. So there's a bigger one back there with this little satellite in front of it causing this event. This little black one, and then, here. Okay, now, when you have an object that's super strong like this, okay, got a strong magnetic field. Here it is right here. You see the back side of the black round spheroid. It's probably back in here. And you can see flow going around. Anyways, you see this bending light right here. This light originated here, arcs, and goes out this way. That is a good bend right there. That's a lot of light bending going on right there. Our object right back here with a little satellite out in front of it here. The satellite latching on to some of that plasma, causing it wants to go over the one behind it, but this is much like a rock in a river that sticks up, not above the water, but it's higher than the rest of the rocks around, and it makes the water above it bulge up and go over it, right? It doesn't puncture the surface, but you do see a bulge effect in the flow of the water. You got to remember, a lot of this is flowing outward, right? So we have to use fluid dynamics, not as if this is fluid, but flow. The way things flow around round things, the way things flow around corners, the way water will eddy if it goes around a hard corner, it'll create a whirlpool. So you see these different kind of flow symmetries and asymmetries, okay? And that's what kind of gives away some of these objects. And when you see light bending like this right here, clear indicator that we have an object that's so dense it's bending light. Okay, CME does not come out all bent. Okay, it doesn't. It does not erupt all bent. Look, there's something circular back in here too. And with the moon right here that's latching on to, see this little moon right here belonging to a bigger thing in the back? This is magnetically connected still down through here. See, it's attached to this little guy right there. All right, bending light. Bending light right over this object right back in here. This is this stuff is just, it used to be, help me Lord. It used to be every few years, right? Then it was every year. Then it was every 6 months. Then it was every 3 months. Then every month. Now every 2 weeks. Then every week. And then every 3 days. Now it seems to be going almost every day. We're having some kind of interaction with the sun. You can see the flow asymmetry is still wrapping around this ghost image of our little satellite. And then we skip that was the last frame right there. So interesting. Look at this, almost looking like Nibiru, black in the core with wings going around it like that. Okay, and that's what the ancients mistook as Nibiru, one of these objects with plasma streaking by it, giving it wings, the winged planet. Okay, all right, so lot just to get through that, huh? All right, now we've got it done though. Thank you, Lord, for your help. All right, now let's get into geomagnetic forecast. All clear for the next 3 days. Okay, let's pray it stays that way. I believe the 26th, no, 23rd, yeah, 26th, we should see a little brush up, or we'll see a little CME impact. Now, they were forecasting G1 last night. This still at G0. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if this thing does a G3 or a G4 again, because of the object that's trailing with the CME that came along with it. Even though the CME makes impact, the actual big black object that has absorbed a bunch of radiation goes by with it, and its magnetic field interfaces with ours and gives us a big jolt. And everybody goes, whoa, we weren't expecting a G4. Yeah, well, no surprises over here. Okay, and I just explained why. Okay, so bing, 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 all clear, but we'll watch 26th here, because I have a feeling we might see a G1 or 3 or something there. I pray I'm wrong. I don't want it to happen. Meanwhile, X flare 15, M flare 70. Our 2 M flares 5.1, 3.4. Real quick, all of our sunspots, beta gamma growing here on 3796. This is the one I'm concerned about, 3800. That weird oddball pointing south is beta gamma and growing. What was the one that was behind there? Help me again, Lord. I'm trying to go too fast. 3799. Thank you. 3799 beta gamma and still growing. All right, that one I'm a little concerned about too, because of its oddball configuration. Okay, so we'll have to watch 3799 that's rotating around to face us here pretty soon. Okay, other ones not too worried about right now. Meanwhile, your auroras not too bad. You see our KP over here at 2.5. So we did take a little bump right there, but nothing too intense. All right, but every little bump right now has big reactions on the Earth. Okay. Before I read that, I need a sip. Let's open up a tracker and do some track-a-lacking, since we are lacking the tracking. This is the one I want to see right here. Please, Lord, can we blow it? There we go. This is no slouch. We have seen ones that barely skirted us, that they thought wasn't going to even do anything, give us a geomagnetic storm. This thing is hitting. It's hitting with the red intensity. Watch. Boom. And watch over here. It's hitting with a red intensity. It's not going north or south. This is our profile, by the way. It's hitting us straight on. Now, I'm not trying to be alarmist, okay? I'm just trying to explain my version of it. And you guys are free to, make a mature decision. You're going to have an impact there, okay? I don't know why they're not plotting something impact on this yet. I don't know what's going on over there. I know what's going on. They kind of don't want you knowing much more than what's already out there. Here's our shield event, I think, caught over here. I thought I saw it pop up on this thing. Oh, maybe not. Anyways, we can go revisit that another day because that was quite an extraordinary event. Okay. You need to go over there and take a long, hard look at that event because it's, well, don't look too long because you might need to come back over to this show for peace of mind. Okay. Or say a prayer, you know. All right. Here we go. Backing out of this. Now, let's get to this article. Below is a look at the visible sunspot regions on Saturday, the majority of which are spread across the southern hemisphere. So both AR 3799 and the oddball 3800 have produced much of the flare activity during the past 24 hours, with AR 3790 and 96 chipping in as well. The growth rate of AR 3800, the source of the M5 solar flare on Friday, looks to have stabilized for now. M flares will remain possible throughout the weekend with a lower chance for a major X flare. Okay. Mini vacation? Yeah, you need one. Let's take a little sunspot tour here. Okay, we show you the polarities and stuff. Here's your little heart-shaped one right there. All right, so a lot of activity going on, and then here's this whole region down here, all spread out, getting more complex and spread. And this is going to be interesting to see what happens there. And they are saying this is the one that's kicking out a lot, and that's our one right here. Okay, good. Wow, quite the event right there, huh? Whew. Now back to this. Back to the weather. Thank you, Tom. In lighter news, on August 23rd, newly assigned AR 3800, located at a high latitude, well, let's call it low latitude because it's down on the bottom, but high as far, what they mean is high in away from the equator. Okay, it's further down, it's higher away from the equator of the sun. So, suddenly, a bit of a firecracker. In addition to the M3.4, the region just produced the M5.1. The latest magnetic image shows the presence of two small magnetic deltas with a possible within the center of the group. And we showed you that configuration last night. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, see this red wrapping around the blue right here? That's not good. These two magnetic deltas, there's so many complex configurations. Red could touch blue. Look how close these two are. Those two are pretty strong, and they're just like holding hands, skipping down the street right there. So that thing could pop off at any moment. You see how just, this is different. It's like there's a very intense object with a little one trailing it, got off to the side. These things almost mimic the the configurations of the objects when they pass the sun sometimes too. Anyways, I just kind of wanted you guys to get familiar with this one down here. Okay, so let's get on over to the spaceweather.com. A CME is coming, but it's not a big one. The CME was hurled towards Earth during the early hours of August 23rd by a puny C-class solar flare. Boy, are they going to eat those words. A NASA model predicts it will arrive on August 26th. The impact could spark a minor G1 class geomagnetic storm. Okay. The Starlink satellites are turning blue. If you take a time-lapse photography, you'll see them kind of streak across the sky like that. You can come over and read this, but I just wanted to touch base with here. The one that left on the early hours of August 23rd. Let's go back and just kind of take a peek here. Okay. August 23rd. Takes 3 days for most of this activity to get here. And here's our blast. It was... Maybe it's this right there. Let's see a replay here. Once it kind of loads up. All right, you see our bigger spread. We have a big object right there with trailing satellites, all right? This might be the event that's heading our way right here. But if any object that's caused this is going along with it, well, it's going to retain some of that energy. I think it's this one. Because that, yeah. So we might see a little surprise, okay? So if these guys go, wow, we got a G3, what happened there? Everybody's surprised. Well, we won't be over here, okay? So, yeah, right there. So the one on due to arrive on the 26th. And if it does have a strong impact, radio blackouts, stuff like that happens, and then energy gets absorbed down to the core, affects the core and the shell grinding, and then we get these grinding events on the Schumann. So there's your Schumann for the day. Does that kind of match up with what you went through today? It's getting kind of weird how this thing is matching up like through the course of my day. And I don't know if it's like it's causing me to do it or me causing it to do it. Well, we know that this happens in the background, okay? This energy will affect you in, well, when you don't know it, okay? You're used to a nice, smooth, even 7.83 like this. We want no activity, nice smooth green. This is what keeps you calm and peaceful and level-headed. When this stuff starts happening, it's taking your vibe and intensifying it and then weakening it and intensifying it, weakening it, intensifying it. So you're going on this roller coaster ride. And it's not just your 7.83, okay? It's the surrounding frequencies as well. I liken this stuff right here much to having every radio station on the, AM and FM on your radio all playing at the same time. Sports, news, rock and roll, commercials, talk radio, all jarbled together. All jarbled together. And then someone comes and turns the volume up really loud. Well, that's going to rattle your nerves, right? Well, that's what this is doing, but you can't hear it. It's doing that in the background. So you're getting like shock treatment kind of in the background, and you don't know it. That's why the spiritual work is important, because this stuff will throw you out of character and you will mess up and have to restart over. And it does it to other people too. But many of you are doing your salvage work and you see this effect in other people now. And you see that, it explains everything. It's the Schumann going off right now. I need to forgive this person who stepped out of character because, they don't know what's happening. Okay? And when they didn't have this frequency in the Russian cosmonaut, they went nuts. Okay? They lost their minds, went savage nuts, and murdered each other in the capsule. If you don't have this 7.83, you're going to be going through some mood swings. Okay? And sometimes this affects different people different ways. If you have, like steel plates in your body, if you have surgeries and, blown out knees and joints and stuff like this, stuff can make you ache. All right. So a lot of people notice all of a sudden a lot of soreness and aching, and they're like, oh, what's going on? Well, what's going on in the background? Okay. And it's also an indication of pressure down at the lower levels. Okay, we have pressure build up and then it retreats. We have volcanic earthquake eruptions that'll, once it starts to build, we'll have something erupt and it relieves pressure. These are pretty much typical readings. This one I'm a little iffy about. It does have our tapering up too, but it's this big drop right before. Actually, this is looking a little bit more normal now. I look at it from back here. I think it was the other one we were looking at the other night that had these gaps on both sides. But pressure builds up, and we're talking the core and the shell grinding, that low frequency. This is 0 hertz, okay? So 0 through 7 is really low frequency. It comes up from through the magma, up through the crust, and then emanates from the surface out into space, but it hits our ionosphere. and bounces back down as an echo. This instrument records those echoes. So these are echoes that are coming out of the earth. Okay, the dynamo inside that produces our magnetic field hums, much like a power lines hum. Well, it hums at a frequency, it hums at a note. Y'all know that note. Y'all can hum that one because that's the note that it hums. So our planet hums a note, and that note, if it's disrupted, messes with you. It messes with the animals too because they're used to having nice, smooth continuity. Okay, you've had a roller coaster ride over the last hours, right? The last, well, 24, 48 hours there. It's been up and down, up and down, up and down. A lot of pain and it goes away. So you guys you're doing well. If you're holding on tight through this, you're doing well. Now you understand what's going on in the background, and it's not so bad. When something's going on, you can go, I bet it's the Schumann, but something's going on or whatever, all right? Oh, hello, you guys. I'm so glad you're here. Manuel Zepeda, welcome, bud. Everybody, all aboard. Okay, so you see this impulse, and then it gets weak, and whoops, and then goes strong again. So just that kind of activity, really strong, back to normal, really strong, can rock you. You're like, hey, what's going on? I was feeling good, now I'm feeling down. Whoa, good again? What happened there? Okay, so not good continuity. We've been on a roller coaster ride today. And also indications of pressure down below. Coming on over to the hard stuff now. Rock you like a hurricane, okay? This is, well, like a hurricane. It's a typhoon, okay? That's the song, Rock You Like a Hurricane. See the two eyes is all looking at you. All right, so yeah, Grandpa Muppet, huh? All right, it's getting serious now. All right, you guys. Over here is a dear loved one of mine. Okay, she's stuck on this island right here. Hopefully, I was hoping this would go south of the island. It looks to just clip the island. But what it does is it takes the most intense part of the storm, this northern part, and throws it right into the islands. Okay, so they're experiencing high winds, flash flooding. It's gonna be a rough ride for the people of Hawaii, and then we'll get into this during our weather report. Okay, but you see Grandpa Muppet there trying to hypnotize you with his eyes. All right, meanwhile, we have this going on over here as well. Kind of rock you like a hurricane. Another typhoon here heading towards Japan. Okay, so we're got, quite the setup going here now. And then, strong storms up in here. All down on the southern hemisphere, but that's all pretty much uninhabited. So, all right, what I want to do now is get into our sandstorm report. So we're going to come over to the particulates and go to, take that off of there, please. And then to the sand. All right, there we go. I wish they picked some better colors, but it is what it is. So white denotes intensity. Green is less intense. Yellow, even weaker. Okay. So you can see intense plume coming off of Africa, making a big, nice hook like this. We've got a couple little pulses out here in front. It looks to be kind of in good shape. There's a gap right here where we might see hurricane formation. Okay, but let me put the wind back on now. Okay. So our conveyor belt structure is still kind of taking this stuff off of Africa. We actually have a new little impulse sneaking up the back and kicking dust up, so it's making a thicker plume. Okay, you see this air coming across the equator now. Okay, this is not normal. air coming from the southern equator, crossing the north, and going up and kicking sand out of Africa. All right, so whatever it takes to get this plume going again. And yes, it's a mammoth. You can see the eye, the elephant, the tusks. Pretty crazy stuff we're seeing here on our spiritual realm stuff. Anyways, boom, our flow, our conveyor belt structure is kind of widening out here and going into this region again. All right, and it's spreading sand through there. See how it's taking all this sand and bringing it into that area? That's awesome, because that really kind of cuts down on hurricane production. We would have been, this country would have been like cut in half with a water wedge right here, hurricane after hurricane going up and out, if we had been stuck in that conveyor belt structure. Okay, and I'm talking this round air current, we could 8 to 10 evenly spaced hurricanes just mauling each coastline, one after another, buzzsaw after another buzzsaw. All right, and some of them were aiming to come right up through here. All has been, diminished by the sand. It cuts out on the hurricane production. Now, meanwhile, the conveyor belt type structure with evenly spaced hurricanes is happening in the Pacific instead. All right, there's not enough sand, but you can see the formation of these two. These two together has pulled, you see the little conveyor belt it's made right here, has pulled a lot of the sand out into this region. Okay, so it might not dilute these first couple of storms, but the next one would be like right in that area. And what do we see? An intense plume of sand to the rescue. Like that shield. Anyways, right now we need to pray for the people of Hawaii. Even though this is not an intense hurricane, it's going to dump a lot of, who put acid in the drinks? All right, there you go. It's going to dump a lot of water. And going to have high winds. There'll be coastal erosion, power outages. It's not going to be fun, let's just say. All right. So everybody pray for Kathy out there. All right. Now we got this, and then hopefully nothing after that. Meanwhile, let's go see what happened to these guys, to the bad boys, getting spanked over here. Saudi Arabia mostly covered now. Iran's, look at this, brief little pocket right here for the moment, but you see this whole sand wall is about to engulf that whole area. You see this flow vortex dragging stuff across India again. No longer is it splitting up and diving down and going around. We have this structure which comes out of the southern hemisphere again. We got air crossing the equator, going up into the northern hemisphere, and this vortex is drawing that sand across India again. It must have messed up again, huh? Meanwhile, we got very intense sandstorm over here in the Gobi Desert. It's still there, just don't look for it, okay? Not so intense on this eye. On that sandstorm. Okay, meanwhile, our typhoon over here, like a hurricane, but a typhoon, winding up. And look, it's picked up some sand. It's not much, but see how it's pulling some in, so maybe that'll weaken it a little bit. All right, so there's your sandstorm report. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This sandstorm been going on since November of last year. Obviously, something going wrong with the Earth, okay? High winds plus geomagnetic electricity makes the sand silicone, holds an electric charge. It makes it lighter than air, giving it like a static electric charge. Not necessarily lighter than air, but much lighter than sand. And then with high winds, it kicks up really easily, and now we have it all around the world. But it's kind of a good thing. It's hampering the hurricane production. Okay, so how many times did you say it, Brian? Like 4 or 5 or something like that? I don't know. Sorry, I'm just trying to let the Lord speak through me. I don't rehearse this. I don't even know how to do this stuff. I'm just don't know what he's making me do here. All right, SO2, we're current right now. Yes, we're right now. All right, so here's your country divided here. All right, one side bleeding out over here on the right, all porous ground, has really soft, spongy type ground, lots of pores in it. SO2 being pushed up through the over here, more solid ground. The SO2 comes up through perforations in the crust. Our country divided. Now, before we get into the SO2, we're going to add the fire report to this as well. Because, well, these SO2 plumes, SO2 is the gas that surrounds the magma down below. We're talking sulfur dioxide, not carbon dioxide, okay? Sulfur dioxide comes out of the ground super hot, and it creates, combustion wherever there's a site. Okay, there's spontaneous combustion when this gas comes out of the ground super hot. So it sparks fires from underground. Cool. I was hoping I'd get wet tonight. And you can see how some of these fires are, being caused from our activity underground. Give me a second here. I spilled my soda on me. All over the desk. Anyways, up here at this region, getting a little concerned. Here's Salt Lake City. There's the Great Salt Lake right there. Up here is up by Yellowstone. Okay. Now, there was a report today on Mr. MBB's channel, and he was showing some wildfires up in that area, especially the ones that you're looking at right there on the map. And when I took a look at the video coming out of the area there, what they think is a wildfire looks more like a volcanic explosion, you guys. Okay? And I think they're telling people of course it sparked a fire. Okay? You can see the huge, dark, intense SO2 plume there. And, dang it. I spilled all my soda all over. Okay. Anyways, I almost want to drag you over there to show you the supposed smoke column off of the fire over there. Okay, it's very, very thick. It looks like a volcanic eruption. All right, I'll let you guys be the judge, but you all know Mr. MBB333. Go look at his latest video. Talking about the fires in this region, okay, at these very sites right here. And when you see what they're calling just the smoke from the fire, you will see what appears to be a volcanic eruption in that area, okay? I want you guys to go over there and evaluate that yourself. I'll let you be the judge, okay? We look at a lot of volcanic plumes on this channel too, so you guys got a good eye. Anyways, back to the report. Up here in the northern parts, it's kicking off fires up here in Canada. A lot of this kind of diminished up here in Canada because it's traveled south now. Okay, it came into Washington, Oregon area. We were having fires at this spot. There's still little red ones in there. Okay, see them? But a lot of these spots are creeping further south into the lower 48. Now here we go in the like Central Valley of California. Main hotspot right here. It looks like this is just all being blown down through there, so these don't really count. I'm looking more for like yellow dots at an actual right in the middle of a plume site, stuff like this. Okay, that. And now it's crept further. Well, it was creeping south. That kind of activity stopped. Now it's kind of creeping east, and it had made it across this line. There was a couple down here by Louisiana, but that activity stopped. Okay, so there's your thing right there. Let's just do this really quick. This for educational purposes. You guys need to also go over there too. I want to kind of show you what I want to do. Yeah. Mr. Bradbury is a good man. Agree on a lot, but not everything, but we agree on some things. Is this one here? Yeah, it is. Just real quick, I want to show you this supposed fire, and we'll let you be the judge of it. And I've seen some intense fires. I've seen some good plumes and stuff before. But I think right here. Okay. Very, 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 very tight gray ash or gray clouds down below. Ooh, nasty face right there. But this looks more like a pyroclastic flow than a fire. And this is in that very spot up here in up in Wyoming right there that we were looking at. Okay, so come over here, check this out, watch the whole video, but I'm telling you, that doesn't... I was looking last night after our show for anything out of that area. Okay, anything happening in this area. And sure enough, we get fires now. And here's our, volcano. And we had this one go off here in Oregon that went unreported too, and it started fires. It's still spewing a bunch of SO2. You can see this little SO2 plume. This one made a 120-mile long shadow. I'm wondering what this... Come on. I think what they don't want to let people know that we just had a volcanic explosion right next to Yellowstone, you guys. See it where it's at? I don't know. You guys need to be the judge of that as well, okay? But they're all reporting it as a fire. I pray that it is just a fire. I hope that that's just a very, very intense fire that caused some really tight, cumulonimbus smoke clouds around it because of the intense heat. But when I see this brown stuff down below... This looks like it's erupting. If we went... Oh, no, there was a couple... If we had like a couple of frames, one before and one after, we could see the motion. Seeing this little pop-up, trying to do... See how it went from one... come here. My hands are so numb, it's hard to do this, so... I'm trying to show you how it went from that one stage and then blossomed up a little bit. So, I don't know. But, you know what? Whatever comes out of the mainstream media, I'm not all that hip and all that quick to believe these days. Okay? And when I was seeing SO2 emissions getting intense, I'm like, I wonder when we're going to get a fire out of that area. And then we have an explosion and a fire. So, bingo. Whew. Thank you, Lord, help me with that one. And if it is just a fire, don't be surprised if you do see a volcanic explosion in the area because we got so much pressure, it's pushing SO2 out. All right, so... Hawaii, hanging tough. It's not so intense today. Well, we got a good little plume still coming out of there. That hurricane's coming through. They're going to blow a lot of that out of there for the moment, but it's still doing its job. Is that like a little pug with the eyes and the smash face and his little chin coming up right there? It is. See it? See the chin coming up and the smash nose, second eye, ears. There's a little pug right there. His little bottom chin. If we go into the negative, there it is in the negative. See it in the negative there? All right. Similar to what was captured, by some of our viewers here in our very own family in the clouds. Okay? Spiritual realm is all over the place. Okay, it's real, by the way. It's not just pareidolia. Pareidolia is seeing human faces. What would you call this? Dogadolia? Or when you see dragon faces, what would that be? I mean, why are they differently well-defined faces if it's pareidolia? Ay, ay, ay. Kathy, I hope your pugs are fine. We'll pray for your protection out there, darling. All right, let's move on. Coming over here, and this is just mellow. Let's go back to their daytime without the fires. All right, so very intense SO2 coming out of the ground in China. This land is all very, very porous and very soft and spongy. It's going to get even worse. This gas comes out of the ground. It clears out the little vent holes. It removes little pebbles and little grains of sand all erode away, and then it rains there. I've shown you nothing but flooding coming out of that area. They have had huge flooding, and the SO2, sorry, is still managing to push through regardless of the flooding. That's how bad it is. That water goes back down into those holes and erodes it away, and just gas comes out, water goes in, out, in, out, in. Pretty soon that hole is a canyon, okay? And this place is just, if they don't get on board and pay attention to who they're up against here, it's only going to get worse. Their country will literally dissolve and just melt away into the ocean. Meanwhile, over here at Taiwan, we have SO2 coming out of the ground right there. We don't have as many earthquakes in this region, but we did see a temperature drop in the pressure in the temperature regions and pressure in that area. So you see pretty good plumage coming out of there. It's probably venting a lot of the pressure through SO2 as well. This very intense spot across the way probably helps relieve some of the pressure. Again, down here, a strong plume here in the Philippines, pressure building up there, pushing more gas out. We come over here. Ow. We come over here to Java, and we got intense plumes coming out of here, which is a lot of pressure. It's relieving a lot of pressure in the region. Okay, this is like our little relief valve for like a pressure cooker has a little relief valve on the top. Well, this is kind of like the relief valve for the planet right here. It's releasing a lot of pressure. There's a plate boundary, there's volcanic activity, and SO2 emissions, all three together. So our little relief valve looking nice and dark today. Okay, same with up here. Also, some of these other countries now, like India, is darkening up. It used to not be so bad, but they got plumes now that are getting more intense. You saw the new wind patterns driving this across the country. It drives it up against the Himalayan mountains, and the Himalayas are so high, it won't let this gas pass over it. So it backs up on the backside of the Himalayas, thus choking out India with sulfur dioxide. Another country that needs to get on board, picked the wrong religion. Meanwhile, over here, where things are getting ugly, you see a lot of SO2 coming out of the ground over here. A lot of pressure building up under here as well. They better get on board and start figuring out what to do. Meanwhile, the Holy Land now having SO2 emissions along this region as well. And they had quakes here not too long ago. How quickly they forget. Meanwhile, looking up here, oh, it's a pig tonight. See the eye, the nose, the ears. A pig with antlers? Or a moose? Hey, is that a moose? It's the Lord has a sense of humor. I swear. Impressive. Thank you, Jesus. You are amazing. Okay, we got pug faces. We got moose. Last night we had this thing looked like a pig at first. So there's probably a pig and a moose in there. Depends on which one you make an eye. But that's the thing. He'll take one, make this one an eye, and it's a bigger head and it's a moose. Make this an eye, it's a different. But very impressive. And then we got this guy over here. All right. It's smiling too. Look at the smile. I'm looking at you. Wow. Oh, there's the eye for a horse too. Use that as the eye. It's a horse. Multiple dimensions of multiple meanings. The depth, width, and breadth is just awe-inspiring. Okay. Look at this little guy grinning down here. You missed me. All right, let's move on. We have the most disturbing part to do here, so everybody take a deep breath. Let's go over to our thermal anomalies now. Here we go. I want now or the most recent. Okay. Volcanic blooming going on the bottom of the ocean floor is causing hot spots out in the ocean. Here in the North Atlantic, it's getting, bigger and bigger, taking on this yellow bar structure. This area down here is new off of the Baja. Okay, we got that little spot popped out. This we'll talk about in a little bit. Meanwhile, the whole comma structure is kind of diminished. See how this area kind of lessened in intensity? It's still there, but it's not, well, it looks a little diminished since last night. Why is this a little brighter than normal? Too bright or something? All right. We'll come back to that. Meanwhile, look at the face on that one. All right, so meanwhile, we got this whole yellow bar structure now. It was kind of divided up. Now it's kind of filled in. The whole thing turning yellow now. Also, we see relief along these volcanic islands. Thus, no hot water because the pressure is being relieved, and we get cold water inundation that matches the island structure perfectly. Wow. Okay. Really quick, I want to talk about this. Here we are over at Taiwan, our other fulcrum point, our other relief valve. Okay, and you can see over here that the yellow arm that had reached down through these islands has retreated. And in fact, the red has retreated now. I want to pull up the legend here. Okay, over here, red being warm, orange hotter, yellow hotter, white hot. Okay, so white being the hottest, red being and brown and black being the cooler. And then we go cold to ice. Okay, so we have brown and black. That temperature, that pressure has been relieved here at the fulcrum point so much that we have cold water inundation coming on the backside. This cold next to hot is going to cause vorticity. Hot air above hot water, cold air above cold water. Hot air rises, cold air rushes in to replace it, and you get rotation. Now, down here, again, at our other relief valve, at Java here, doing its job, relieving a lot of the pressure in this region so much that we have cold water inundation here. Okay, some of the coldest water in the world coming out right next to Java. Meanwhile, we have new little vents opening here. This one that had opened here kind of petered out. Little shift to over on this side, and I think that's what's changed our current. It used to dip down because of the hot spot that was here. Now it's shifted over here, and the flow goes across. I'll put the winds on in a minute. We're just looking at hot spots for a moment. New little intrusion kind of up through here. Look at all these little speckled spots across the bottom. This goes hot to cold to hot to cold to hot. You'll see here in a minute. Okay, I think, well, we saw this one. And now up here at the top of the world, very hot water up here. This is supposed to be all ice, so it's going to melt a bunch of the ice. I already hear reports coming out of the permafrost up in this area that aren't good. Okay. Hot and cold right next to each other. Look at this hot water. Here's cold water down at the southern part of Greenland. Up here it should be colder, but no, we got hot water up there. And you can see what it's doing to the top of the world. Okay, there's the North Pole. There are heat signatures at the North Pole coming up through the ice cap. And you see the northern shores of up here should be just all totally cold. Nope. All right, now what I'm going to do is put on the wind and the correlating. All right, here we go. Wind. Our conveyor belt structures are matching our heat signatures. Okay, our heat signatures are actually controlling the weather now. All right, the conveyor belt type structure is because of our heat, cold, rotating them. Look at this cold air rushing in, hot air rising right here, cooler air rushing in to mix to replace it. Thus, your vortex. See it? It matches the heat signature perfectly. Your wind patterns are being influenced by the heat signature, well, by the volcanic activity going on underneath the ocean floor, or on the ocean floor, okay? This activity over here was causing storms to come up to the coast and then turn around and go back out, so leaving this region hot and dry. And then we had the other flow that went right up through the country, bringing all kinds of weather right up in hot, moist air up through the middle of the country. You see our little heat signatures out here kind of causing our storms. Cold air rushing in because there's warm air here that's rising, causing this vortex. We got warm air here, cold air rushing in. See? These heat signature cold patches are creating your vorticity and controlling the weather. How do I tell them this part now, Lord? All right, let's just do the best we can. All right, so let's take this one right now, for example. This storm right here is pretty intense, okay? That was the one that we were on the thumbnail right there. Heat signature induced. Traveling along, you get swooped up in this in the conveyor belt. When we come over to here, oh wait, not yet. Oh, whoa. Right there is good. Here's our storm, Gilma. Please, Lord, just let it work. Here's its plotted course, aiming right for Hawaii. This one's clipping it to the south. Meanwhile, the strongest of them right here is going towards that. Now, what was I going to talk about? Oh, so you got your vortex going right there, causing your hurricane. Oh, no. Okay, let's just do it the hard way. So here's your vortex. We're going to go back to the air patterns now. All right. We're wind at 850. All right, let's go to the surface really quick. There's the surface. We're climbing in altitude. Climbing to where our storms really are productive, right there at 850. Go even a little bit higher. This is almost like a little neutral zone right here between your storm barrier and your lower jet stream. The 700 is like a barrier, like the 70 barrier here. So 850 at 700, we still see it. Let's go to your lower jet stream. That's your lower jet stream, folks. Here, let me just pull back so you can see. That's your lower jet stream. Okay. Now we're going to go to 250. This is your upper jet stream. Your upper jet. This storm is so powerful, it's reaching the upper jet. It's controlling the upper jet stream. The upper jet stream is not causing this storm. The heat signature is causing this storm, right? It's so powerful, and the atmospheric compression we're getting from the sun now is pushing the upper layers further down. Therefore, they have to intermingle at some point. And now, instead of our lower jet stream creating and controlling the weather, this is our upper jet stream, 250. Pay attention. 250. There's your lower jet. 7, 8, 1,000 feet, and at the surface, there is your storm, okay? There is your storm. Whoops. Help me again. Oh, that's what I did. There we go. That was induced back here by this area right here. It came right off of this, starts going this way. This one's doing the same thing. It's coming off this region and going to head with it. Everybody pray for the people of Hawaii. This is the type evenly spaced hurricane type structure getting caught up in a conveyor belt. All right, it didn't happen over in the Atlantic. It's starting to happen over here in the Pacific, evenly spaced. I mean, it's not perfect, but this one was the first one. Now they're getting organized. We need that sand to come in here. Remember that sucking sand over there? Hopefully it'll diminish the power of those storms so they don't go Cat 5 on Hawaii. Maybe Cat 2 instead of Cat 5 or something off the chart, okay? So there's your thermal activity causing our weather, and now it's affecting the upper jet streams now. Lower and upper jet stream. They don't control the weather anymore. It's controlled by this. That's why your weather's so wonky. Here's the conveyor belt structure for Atlantic. It should be evenly spaced hurricanes going around like this, just lashing this coastline, coming off one after another, coming off of Africa, just getting fed in there. And then when they come off the country, they're supposed to diminish in the cold water over the North Atlantic. That water up there is hot too. So it's going to, strike the land and intensify. Well, luckily, we haven't had this kind of effect yet, this evenly spaced over here because of the sandstorms. But there's not enough sand over there to stop the genesis over there. Understand what I'm saying? You guys are brilliant. Wish we could get the... Never mind. I got to keep that. Wish you could have had people listening earlier. We wouldn't be at this point. But here we go. There's your surface, your structure, and everything there. Here again, heat signatures causing our air to go from the southern hemisphere up into the northern hemisphere. All right, something I want to show you down here as well. Where's the tide? No, waves. No, current. There it is, yeah. Thank you. No. It's not the one I wanted. Ocean. SSTA. No. Well, it's not showing it now. Waves. These currents. There we go. So, hot water rising, cold water rushing in to replace it. You see, it comes from hot water into cold water. It's not like this hot plume is creating, these little guys down the line. These are all independent hot spots on the bottom of the ocean floor, creating cold water inundation next to them. And it goes from hot to cold to hot to cold, hot, cold, from hot to cold, or boom, hot to cold. So you see this little structure going there. And that's your hot water rising, cold water rushing in to replace it. Same type of effect that happens with the air. All right. So hot to cold, hot to cold. You're either hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, I'll spit you out. Okay, so there is that. I want to leave it over here at the Wanda Fuca. Let's talk about this now. Okay, you guys, this is the part where everybody's like, oh God, what are we going to get to this part? All right, you see look at the currents that these heat signatures are causing off the coast. See these heat plumes, what it's doing to the water currents? Because they're heat plumes, they're really there. It's changing the current of the water on the coastline. Let's get back to, let's take all that off. The air. No. Focus. There we go. All right, so here's our Wanda Fuca. The fulcrum point here at Northern California. Still got cold water there because it relieves some of the pressure, but that's like the last cold water spot left. There and there. So, fulcrum point comes out, Wanda Fuca goes right up like this. This leakage, this hot water is leakage coming off of this plate boundary right here. Whoa, not too fast. This inner plate boundary running up along this. Okay, fulcrum point right there. You come out, go up, there's the outer part of the plate, the zigzag part. Here's just the coastal crack. Okay, that's a crack in the Earth's surface right there, okay? And look, comes out, there's your coastal zigzag, and right here is where your lava, hot water, whatever, coming out of the ground, or the ocean floor right there off the coast of Oregon. Inside the Wanda Fuca plate. That shows that there's pressure underneath the Wanda Fuca. So much that it perforated the plate, and now we got magma. This is relieving some of the pressure in there, by the way. So it's kind of good that it popped this way instead of causing a big earthquake. But the pressure in the area is on. You can see it. Therefore, the high quake risk right now for that region. All of this region, the whole Wanda Fuca. You see all this heat and pressure out here off the coast. That's right out here. So, here we go with our quake report. Everybody hold your breath. Here we go. Take a deep breath. Hold it for 5-10 seconds. And then exhale nice and slow. Righty. All signs of the Bible. Okay? Think of it that way. Our deep quake region. Starting off with it. Please, Lord, can we have this one? Maybe? All right, there we go. Can you guys see that? Is this too bright? Or, maybe it's my screen or something. All right, anyway. 5.0 down at 627. 627 is quite a depth, all right? Usually our stuff's at 580, 590. Every once in a while we get around 6. This is even down below that. So it's deeper than 6, down at 627. We usually have mid-range 4. This is a 5.0, so that's a jump in magnitude, right? Okay. So we have our deep quake at a stronger magnitude, which is going to cause residual quakes at the surface stronger too. Okay. Where did my pointer just go? Oh, there it is. All right. So as we get into this 5 here down at 627, so that's super deep. Here, a 4.9, and what do we do with 4.9s here? Okay, down at 525. So there's a deeper quake, another deep quake, not as deep, but a deeper quake. 5 at a deep depth there, coming down here now. Here's 4.4 down at 355. Then, as we come into this region, this island is spewing SO2, so it's relieving pressure in that area, keeping the quake, activity down here. And we also have volcanic islands around here that are relieving pressure, holding the quake activity down as well. This island also spewing SO2. Every once in a while we see a quake there, but then we get into our deep region here. Fulcrum point, kind of where two plate barriers meet, but this might be a little deeper. Yeah, 144. So mid-range 4 down here. You see these volcanic islands right here. Plate boundary ends. Volcanic islands. So it's kind of in a little weak zone right here. There's no volcanic base around per se, but right here where the energy would push in, something going on down in there. 4.6, relieving energy right along that area. Also over here, you can see little seamounts on the ocean floor growing here. Some of them get so big that they erupt through the surface of the water. Okay, and they make little atolls and little tiny islands. So no volcano. There's these little guys here, but that's kind of out in an open plain out there. Down at 495. So something's going on way down underneath all these little volcanoes right around here. We come down to Java, where we see a lot of our energy being relieved, our relief valve. We had a quake right here at the Sunda Straits last night, right next to Krakatoa. Now we have another quake just further up. Boom, a 5.0 down at 27. Here's this little island that this whole ridge right here is a volcanic ridge. Let me see if we can pull back. All right, see these islands sticking up too? Take that off so they can see, Brian. All right, this whole little ridge line all kind of pushed up volcanically. In between the main island, the volcanic ridge, you see this depression down in there. That's like a weak zone right in there. It's sloughed, it sank in that area right there. And we're seeing activity on that weak zone right there. See what I'm saying? Okay, no fulcrum point quake here. We haven't had one there in a while. It seems to be kind of locked up. Actually, a lot of the pressure is coming out through SO2, through all that right through there. Quick fulcrum point quake up here. 4.2 down at 219. Over here by Greece. 4.3 down at 14. That's good. We could use more of that activity. Mid-range 4, maybe even 5 to relieve the pressure in this region. All these plate boundaries right here got a lot of work to do, or there's going to be a very sudden, quick release of energy in there. A lot of activity going along the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. They're not going to show it here. Probably you don't even have it. Now, South America really quick, and then we'll get into America. 4.4 and a 4.2 down to 152. Our typical energy release right here at the fulcrum, just south of it, but that's keeping the SO2 coming out of these mountains or this beach area right here, is keeping the magnitudes down. Okay, now let's get into Japan. Had this 4.5 at the surface, relieving energy. Kamchatka still rocking and rolling up here with a 4.7 down at 35. We're going to go all magnitude, USA, and dive on in. All right. Small little microquakes along these volcanic islands has been relieving pressure in the area, okay, and keeping, well, the pressure keeps the water temperature down. There's not a lot of, it's created that cold water strip there. Enough. Spit it out, Ryan. All right. Boom. 2.1. Many fulcrums up through this area. 1, 2, 3. They kind of all go back behind each other. This one's out of that range. That's the 2. Here's your diverse quake. Again, another diverse quake here. This is going to be very interesting. Okay. Thank you for that, Lord. Stab me in the eye. Oof. All right. Oh. We have a 4.2 here at Fox Creek, Canada. We're going to have to go in a little tighter here. I want to see topographically. There's nothing around, dude. Just our little, man-made perforations in the crust there. Really? We got that going on way up here, too? Oh, for the shale. And right next to it, you guys created a 4.2 down at 9.4. New weak spot, I'd watch that place now. Okay, path of least resistance, path of least resistance, path of least resistance, path of least resistance. Man-made perforation in the crust right there, right next to this big old hard plate boundary kind of mountainous, many faults through there. All right. I would have said diverse quake. Boy, that was that so close to being diverse quake, huh? Till we zoomed in, huh? Dang. Now, very quiet up through here. We need to see a little more quake activity along the volcanoes right here. We might see volcanic activity coming here pretty soon along this volcanic line, that crest, because we have this right off the coast. And if we don't have earthquake activity and it pushes under the land, okay, we have pressure that's pushing up underneath this area, and it's pushing stuff out of the ocean floor. It could very well do it along already perforated crust. Those mountains right there, the volcanoes along that ridge line. Really quick, Stanley Idaho, 2.3. Okay, fulcrum point quake, 1.8, not even close enough. 2 at Rancho Tahima Reservoir. Up here we've had 2.1. Look at the geysers going off down here. Get a couple magnitudes. Doing mid-range ones right about now. A little flurry, relieving pressure. Okay, coming over. Well, let's go down here really quick. It reduces pressure. You get 0.9 magnitudes when that happens. It reduces pressure. So 1.9, little weak spots here to watch. Path of least resistance. Some of these spots that are firing up are spots we've got to watch in the future for, like when a new wave of pressure comes in, we're like, hey, where's the weak spots? Well, these last little places that had quake swarms and stuff like that, we had this going on down here. It's tapered out down to like 3 quakes now. But look, it's kind of backed up into this area now. Here's a recent 2 in Delano, California there. Okay, down here into Southern California, we're seeing current activity. A lot of current activity right now. It's not much, 1.3, these little micro quakes, but they just happened. There's currently pressure going through California. Now, out here amongst rattlesnakes, up on my ranch here, we've had this activity going on by Hawthorne. Today, they had 3.3, 3.9. No, that was a little bigger. I saw, where did that go? 4.7 just a little while ago. 3.4. It was this one. How could I tell? That read 4.2 or 4.5 a little while ago. And now look at it. It's a 0.9. What do we do with our 0.9s here? So, yeah, we had a little decent quake out there. Some activity out here underneath this mountain. It's right next to that. All right. A little quick swarming going out there. Good, good, good. All good. Let's come over to Texas. Oh, actually, New Mexico here with a... Oh, this is still in Texas. 3-0 here in Texas. Up here by Oklahoma. 1-8. Nothing on the New Madrid there. Yep, that's all good. Okay, got to watch this new spot up here in Canada. 4.2. That was probably a little stronger. They probably lowered that too. But almost diverse quake, but no, man-made perspiration. Meanwhile, watch out. That area, eerily quiet. Too quiet. We got too much pressure going on out there. It's too quiet. We need to see some more earthquake activity out there. A couple of mid-range 5s would be nice. Nothing big magnitude, but the longer that delays, the larger the magnitude of the quake when it does come. Hopefully we'll get a new, say a new perforation somewhere else that would draw pressure away from this. You know, a new spot right here would suck some of that pressure away. And, we need something along those lines because right here, very serious off the Bay Area now and down here by Southern California as well. So everybody in California on high alert right now, earthquake-wise. This is why I say that. And we're talking, where this thing could go, it's pushing up on a small piece of plate. Just this is its own little individual broken off piece. Everything else is huge, continental size. Huge, continental size with this one tiny little broken chip right in the middle. So much pressure pushing up underneath that chip with these two pushing this way, and then something pushes up from underneath of that thing pops up, it's over. You're talking a magnitude 10 to 12 that would just, the wave would just probably go all the way across the country. It'd be so high it'd go right across the Rockies and just wash out everything. The potential for what could happen here is, well, kind of beyond your imagination. But let's all pray that this doesn't happen, okay? We're walking on thin ice right now. You can see what's going on out there. I will let you be the judge of this as well, okay? I'm not here to scare you, program you, blah, 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 blah. You are mature adults, okay? I'm showing you this. Other people are starting to pick up on this, they think there's something wrong. They're like, what's wrong with the instrument? Why is it doing this? They think there's a glitch. There's something wrong. No, there's nothing wrong. There's something wrong with the planet. Okay? Everybody watch this area very closely. If I lived here, I would get away from the coastline. Okay? But I don't live there, and I'm not all there. I would want to be right at ground zero. Some of us want to finish this race, and some of them want to drag it out into overtime, right? So those overtimers, get away from the coast. Those people who are done dragging it out, hey, let's go surfing. Okay, boom. We're in a very precarious situation there. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Oregon and Washington? Yeah. Oregon and Washington. The Juan de Fuca. This whole area. Okay, I'm going to do this nice and quiet, like two. Okay. Our fulcrum point right here is the Juan de Fuca. It comes, this plate meets this plate right off the point of California here. Okay. This is that point. of California. Fulcrum point relieves a lot of pressure. Oh, that's why we got cold water there, because pressure is being relieved here at the fulcrum point. All right. Now, our Juan de Fuca comes out, takes 90 degrees, and goes north. Come here, you get over there. This comes out, takes a 90 degree, and go north. There, you can see the plate boundary right here. This is inside the plate boundary. This crack, this plate boundary is rupturing, okay? And if it's hot water or if it's magma, it's molten and it moves a lot easier than solid rock. It's acting like a lubricant. This is the part I'm trying to tell you guys. This lava coming up through that crack is loosening up the tight grip that's going on there. You're going to get an upthrust quake right in this region, so severe that the tsunami wouldn't even travel across the water. It would just arch up and reach over and land in Utah. Okay? It's not going to rush the beach. It's just going to arch up over and start. That would be something very, very cataclysmic. I know Mike's very worried about this plate down here, the Cocos, which is an individual piece itself with a lot of pressure, but it's been having some activity and relieving pressure. Where over here, no activity and that. Okay. Anywhere around the world. Okay. This right here, let's talk about Tamumasi, the biggest volcano on the planet. Second biggest in the solar system, right here. Next to Olympus Mons on Mars. It's underwater, though. And it's spewing a bunch of magma out of it and creating this huge yellow heat plume out here, okay? This is all from volcanic activity. Pilots are flying over this and reporting that the ocean's glowing red from down below. Glowing what color? Red? From down below, huh? Wonder why that's happening, huh? Well, because we absorb so much energy from the sun, it goes down to the core. The core heats and swells. The magma heats and expands. Well, it wants to expand outward in all directions, but there's a shell holding it all in. Well, pretty soon pressure wants to come out, and it's looking for the path of least resistance, and it comes out through perforations in the crust, such as man-made perforations or already cracked plate boundaries. Volcanoes or perforations in the crust. There we go. There is your wind. Do it right. Your wind patterns being controlled by your heat signatures. Also affecting your earthquake activity too. Volcanoes are pimples, kind of. Yeah. On the skin of the planet, yeah. They would be little pimples on the skin of the planet. Meanwhile, just really quick before we do a regular forecast, here's our two hurricanes, or typhoons, like a hurricane, but a typhoon, and their projected paths. One already hitting home in Hawaii there. All right. Next one's projected path, and right along with it. So Hawaii might get a 1, 2, 3 punch right there. Let's pray the sand coming off this region diminishes this next impulse right here and keeps it from any kind of rotation. All right. Let's come on over now and do our weather for... Oh, we got a volcano report to do. All right, please, Lord, just help me get rid of some of these. Can we get rid of some of these sites? Thank you, Lord. That one we'll keep. We can get rid of the Schumann. Spaceweather.com. Get rid of this one. We'll keep. It just got. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can pull up a volcano page now. My poor little laptop came out of a little thrift store and barely working, and thank God it still works. It's just a little finicky. 34 erupting 31 inactive. All right, 65 volcanoes. Insanity. 7 years ago, when this stuff started happening to me, there was one volcano that was just like kind of spitting and sputtering. Everybody, oh yeah, you can go to Hawaii and watch the volcano over there. Now we have 65. If I'd have told you back then we had 65 volcanoes, you would have said, Brian, you're nuts. Well, you're crazy. And here we are, years later, with 65 volcanoes, and yep, I am still crazy about you. Must have had a forest fire there. Look at the smoke coming off the top of that mountain. Oh, wait, that's a volcanic plume. Okay. This is out of Luatobi. We always report about Luatobi. Always wondered what it looked like. Beautiful little island, beautiful little mountain that has a bad habit of erupting. Okay. IBU, 6,000 feet. We dropped a couple thousand in elevation, you guys. Luatobi, you just saw it right there. That was an 1,800 foot to 2,400 foot blast right there. That's just that was a mouse fart for that thing. Samaru, it's usually pumping 15. That's usually its daily thing, so. White Island, 4,000. Fuego, nothing. Here's Nevada del Ruiz at 22,000. Songay, nothing right now. Sabancaya, 22,000. And that was just in the last few minutes. Okay? Let's get into today, which is now yesterday. Well, because time flies here at this channel. And time flies when you're having fun. So, you guys must be having fun? All right. Here we go. 24th August. Look at all the red on this map. That's a lot of little red triangles. A long time ago, there was no use for this map at all. There was only one little yellow triangle over here at Hawaii. But now, that's insanity. Svarensky, 2 days after the eruption commenced, the first satellite imagery of the eruption site. It's morphological changes. That's what everybody is going through now, as well as the Earth. Everybody going through a morphological change. Okay. Suwanosejima, 10,000 feet there. IBU, back to 8,000. Luatobi, we saw the little plume there. All right, no flight elevation on Samaru here, probably 14 or 15 out of that one. I'll give them the elevations of that. Marapi, which is on Sumatra, right across from Java, going off still. No VA reported, but here's Dukono, 8,000 feet. White Island, all the elites trying to go to their bunkers are getting rocked and rolled here. 3,000 foot eruption right next to their bunker. Santa Guido, 14,000 feet. Fuego, 15,000 feet. Nevada, no VA. Songate, 19. Sabancaya, 22. And let's have coconut Vaseline. Ew, that sounds gross. All right. That's it for our volcano report. Let's get on over to our weather. You guys are doing awesome. You have hung out for this long. Well, that's loading up. I thank you for hanging out this long. It's a good test of your patience, your tolerance, your absorption, your practice of your keeping peaceful. So you're already doing it while we do the show. I'm teaching you patience and perseverance. You're going to need it. Especially if it's anything like what I've been through the last 7 years. It's the very things you're going to need. All right. Here we go. A lot of factors going on with our weather, okay? Particulates, increased moisture content, percentage in the air, creating higher productive storms, even when they're not severe. Larger rainfall amounts, higher winds, more violent tornadoes, violent hurricanes, everything. Larger hail, bigger lightning, everything. And we have many factors, as well as the spiritual realm, making weather forecasting pretty tough because there's a lot of factors, and these guys don't take in all those factors. So we're just going to kind of plow through this. Now we had a possible geomagnetic storm enhancement for the 26th. So let's plug through this. So here's your current conditions: nighttime of the 24th, morning of the 25th, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, here we go into the 26th. Now, depending if if we get a storm, and whether it's 1, 2, or 3 on the G scale, will be the order of enhancement for morning there, noon, convection. So this convection right here and this convection up here could see possible enhancement. And these storms too, okay? Anything where you see green, as we go into the nighttime hours, that might still stay, you might still see some kind of thunderstorm activity in that structure right there, as well as up here. But now we go into the morning of the 27th without any enhancement. You do see cold air mingling with that more moist, getting severe up there in the northern plains. Noon up in Canada, convection up in Canada, nighttime Canada, morning of the 28th Canada, noon, convection, nighttime the 28th, morning of the 29th, noon, convection, nighttime. Ooh, you see this big low, this big comma up here rotating. You see this tail come way down here. It's not all connected, but see the splattering of moisture that's coming up to meet this. Little convection right there in the middle at nighttime. Morning of the 30th, noon, convection, nighttime of the 30th, morning of the 31st, noon, convection, nighttime. See how this big long tail reaches back down there, getting pop-ups on the backside of it here? Boom. See how it's speckled there? It goes noon. There's your convection, all kinds of little scattered supercells. That's the dangerous stuff. And then it blossoms harder at nighttime on the 31st. Morning of the 1st, noon, convection, nighttime. There's that same kind of activity again. Morning of the 2nd, noon, convection, nighttime, same kind of little activity again. Morning of the 3rd, noon, convection, isolated supercells, nighttime again. Even morning activity possibly up in that region by the 4th, noon, convection, nighttime. Ooh. Okay, you see how this all swoops up and then tries to head out? You see this big QLCS, quasi-linear convective storm front right here. All right, and isolated supercells. That could be, all right, not necessarily on this day and this time, but that kind of storm front activity is what we got to watch out for here in the future. Okay, when these air masses collide, this high is bringing cooler air down to here. This is still all that moist air coming up, and they meet right at that line. You see how those two blend together and form that? That's the kind of activity you got to watch out for over there in that region. That could repeat. Ooh, what was this? All right. So that storm that was coming up through the Gulf right there, boom, creeping up through the middle of the country by the 7th, going right up through the Ohio Valley. See how it's doing this question mark type structure? It's going to whip up a bunch of moisture up into that region. You're going to see flooding, flash flooding, high winds, tornadoes. That's way out there, so it'll all subject to change. Okay, whew, we made it. Whew, I need to take a deep breath for a second here. Guys, get ready. I'll give you a minute here. I got to get set up. There's your astrophysics, geophysics. There's also this thing called metaphysics that everybody got all wrong, thinking it was crystals and pyramids and humming and chanting. No. The true metaphysics are the physics of your spirit, of your soul. And we're going to work on that because you're going to need all the tools you can get. And a lot of you have caught on to my secret, and you are having success. And I am so thankful that you at least gave it a try. I am even happier that you're having success. See, most people like to see you taken out or taken down, you know. Other people like to see you achieve and get see success. I'm the kind of person who likes to see someone win, to have success. I don't take pleasure in seeing someone beaten down, right? Okay, so that's what we're kind of doing this part. A lot of disturbing stuff going on right now, okay? All because you're in the last days, okay? Time to swallow hard and accept the signs are all around. In fact, every sign is all around. And when you see those signs, it says to look up. But not many people look up anymore because I look around and I see about 95% of people got their face buried in their phone all the time. So very few people are looking up anymore. So, but I do. And I look up and I see all kinds of activity in the clouds. This is on Easter. Okay, this is my face in the clouds on Easter. A 2,000-year-old prophecy came true. And a lot of stuff happened to me in the process that led up to that event. Okay, it's kind of a long story. We've been through it many times. But I want you guys to... Is this the full screen one? We're going to just do this one really quick. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted the full screen. We're going to have to do that one again. It's got a little bit of, well, where is it? It's one. Actually, let me go see if it's down in this. There it is. Full screen. Yeah. Now, this is a real event. It just happened not too long ago also. All right, I showed you that new face in the clouds. Well, we just saw a dude standing on top of the sun with a cane in his left hand. Same dude right here in the clouds. Is that my... Oh, okay. So, really quick with this. Sorry about the profanity, but we're going to cover something that's, well, needs to be covered here. Playback speed. I wanted it 0.75. There are things called EVPs, which are electromagnetic voice print. Okay, we deal with electromagnetics at this channel. And the spiritual realm does too. And it can leave residue or a message on a device without you hearing it. Okay, it's a lot of people do use them for ghost hunting and stuff. I don't suggest you go talking to the dead. But what I need to tell you is that does indeed happen. It is a real effect. I have, well, it's another thing that I've been blessed with in my life, okay, here in the spiritual realm. I'm going to give you a little playback here, and you're going to hear a hidden message in here. I got to get all the audio correct. I don't want to blow your ears out. But at the opening of this, there's some couple of messages. The first one, very inaudible. He says, Jesus Christ is close. Then you hear the wind say, the wolf. Then you hear another voice saying, he is the Christ who's coming quickly. All right? So we're going to play this real quick. There's some profanity in it. I'll try to keep it down to a minimum. It's not my profanity. But these people are in such shock. You got to remember, when you're in shock, stuff comes flying out your mouth that you don't even aware of. So Forgive these people's profanity. We are listening for the EVP. It happens a little slower than regular sound. That's why I changed the speed. We are in a different dimension at a different tempo. Okay, time moves a little differently in the spiritual realm, and it moves at different speeds. So here we go with this event. We'll play this a couple times. Ooh. All right, that was it right there. He is the Christ who's coming quickly. And let me try a different set of speakers. I forgot. These are too bassy. It's more like treble. All right, I'm going to try this real quick again. And this is the EVP. One more time. Where's the other speaker? Can we get a little cooperation here, Lord, please? All right. Try not to blow your speakers up. Ooh. All right, it almost sounds like Jesus Christ is coming quickly, but when you listen really closely, slow it down, put some headphones on, it says, He is the Christ who's coming quickly. Then there are several other little instances here where this continues. Give them full screen, baby. Give your audience a full screen. All right, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I'll just kind of... And that's not somebody walking next to a flashlight, projecting a shadow up into the clouds.
Oh no. Holy fucking shit.
There we go.
I'm definitely get a video of it because there's all rain around.
Come on. It's coming up here in a second. Okay, right after that, there was a first little image, and then the second shadow. When the second shadow and the lightning touch down, he touches down with his cane. The first EVP is saying Jesus in the flesh right now. And then it says right when this first shadow, and the word now when this shadow and the lightning touch down. So right now. The word right, the word now, and then here. So it's right now here. It's now here. It's not right now. It's right now here. Okay, so we're going to try this again. It's very hard to hear it. I'll leave this link so you guys come over and do as I do here. Change your settings on the speed. Put on some headphones and listen to this because these people have no idea that it's on there. This is real stuff. I deal with this. No, let me go back here a little bit.
Holy fuck.
All right, did you hear the here? It's kind of the wind whispering it. If you listen closely, let me just try it one more time here.
Holy fuck.
No, I don't know.
Okay, Jesus Christ in the flesh right here. Okay, so there is a real event going on. Take a look out of your phones. You might capture some of this stuff too, okay? So there's a spiritual realm letting you know that Jesus is in the flesh right now, here. Okay? Cool. You guys doing awesome. Now, boy, do I got some stuff for you guys tonight to read. We need to get... Alright, we got that one done. We can pull up this now. Okay, just a little refresher on that. It was a very important event that a lot of people missed. They saw the one little instance. Oh, wait, there was still more. It shows up again, and the dude slams the door and hides. Let's go back to that, actually. Can we get back to that? Because we didn't finish it.
Oh! Holy fucking shit, guys.
He is the wolf. Did you hear that part?
Holy fucking shit, guys.
He is the wolf. Alright. There's that one right there. Let's get back to our normal playback speed. Now that you heard it, I can turn the sound down a little bit. And we'll play the whole thing real time. Sorry about the profanity. That was this gentleman, but here's the whole incident in its entirety. It opens up with Jesus is close. He is the Christ who's coming quickly. Then there's a couple other little incidences, and it's the last one down here. Well, there's one more after that. Around 50 seconds is the other EVP. Here we go.
Oh! Holy fucking shit, guys.
He is the wolf.
I think power does.
Oh no. Holy fucking shit. I don't think we're going to be able to get video of it because it's not rain wrapped. Oh, holy fuck.
No, I don't know.
That dude is shook. Do you hear him panicking or this lady? That last one was too close. That's rattled him and they closed the door. That's a typical human reaction too, dude. Something that scares
No,
you.
I don't know.
You do the same thing. All right, so enough of that. That was the whole thing. And most you usually see is just that opening clip. But when you see that opening clip on somebody else's show, listen, you'll hear the EVP in it. And nobody else really knows about that EVP except for me because, well, I deal with that realm, okay? I don't use the little devices. I don't go around talking to the dead. I don't need to. They talk to me all the time. Okay. So, we can turn it
Up a minute. You want to catch somebody doing something crazy? You need to get this work.
Yeah, I want to catch you guys not using ads anymore. That would be crazy. Okay, very important images here. Let's get right there. In between, right there. Now you can see Jesus is pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart, making this face in the sky, okay? These faces in the sky were following me all over the place, all kinds of different faces, and then one day it changed into my face. I'm like, whoa, it's making my face now. What the heck? So I took a few pictures of, and I looked later, there's a little crown up here too, and the etherical going on. I'm like, oh, whoa, cool, I got a crown. But then I look back behind it, and it's being projected by Jesus' heart. You see that? There's your Lord and Savior wearing sunglasses. Don't ask me why, but that's what the image is. Okay, very important that you know it comes from a place of love. Okay. All right, we got that image. We got this image. We got that. Oh, the face by the moon. We won't play the video, but we will use the image. Many of you have already seen the documentation on this already. This gentleman went out and bought a new camera to capture what he'd been seeing a lot of before. So he went and invested some money in a good camera so he could capture this face. And, well, it's my face again. Well, all this is happening to me because of who I am. Okay? And it's important that you understand that part too. That's what gives you the foundation that you need. That's the rock that you can lean on, that you can build on. Okay? That's what we do here. That makes you an elite part of an elite family. Okay? That's why you're precious to me. This isn't your normal YouTube live stream. Okay? All right, I got some good stuff for reading tonight. First of all, after viewing all the stuff that we see, a lot of the stuff that's going on around the world, you see Israel taking preemptive strikes. It's hard to be still and find peace amongst the turmoil that's going on, all right? But since stillness is increasingly hard to find, and it's hard to come by in this restless, agitated world, you must fight to carve out time for me. Okay? Last night I was talking about that movie Abyss, and they were trying to resuscitate the lady that drowned. And they gave up, and then the man loved her, so he kept trying, and he's slapping her in the face, and he's telling her, even though she's dead, he's screaming at her, fight, 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 fight to live. Okay? Go look at that scene and the emotion and the passion in that scene. That's the same fight I want out of you. You must fight to carve out time, not fight amongst each other. You got to fight to find time for me. There is so much going on. You literally have to fight to carve out time for me. Distractions come at you from all sides, especially when you try to sit quietly with me. But our intimate connection is worth fighting for, so don't give up. I said don't give up. It's worth fighting for. Set aside some uninterrupted time to spend with me. Focus on a favorite scripture and breathe deeply to help yourself unwind. Remember that I am Emmanuel, God with you. You can relax now in my peaceful presence, letting your concerns slip away. Be still, my loved one, and know that I am God. The longer you gaze at me, the more you can rejoice in my majestic splendors, and you can trust in my sovereign control. And though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, I will still be your refuge. There is transcendent stability in my presence. That's what you guys are reaching now. You guys are perfecting this, and some of you are reaching this transcendent stability because you found my presence. You know that I'm here now and that all of this is happening. It's all part of the process. and you know that I have control over it and that I love you. Therefore, you can find that transcendent stability in my presence. Now, as you ponder the vastness of my power and glory, your perspective will change. Okay? It's not about, oh, me, look at what I did and boo, boo, boo. Listen closely. As you ponder the vastness, okay? It's my power and glory, but as you ponder the vastness of it, okay? It goes into the trees, into the clouds, into the mountains, into the animals, into every single atom. So ponder the vastness of my power and glory, and your perspective will change. That's what we're trying to do, is change your perspective. How are you going to change your perspective? Well, you need to ponder the vastness of my power and glory. See this crown up here? That's a sign of power and glory. I'm coming in the clouds with power and great glory. Okay? Trust in my sovereign control. I am your refuge. You have found the transcendent stability now here in my presence. So ponder the vastness, and your perspective will change. Your problems will look small. They'll look infinitesimal. They'll look much smaller. When your perspective is changed, your problems look smaller. In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Seek to become more increasingly receptive and responsive to me. I am always actively involved in your life. So instead of trying to force me to do what you want, when you want it, take a deep breath, relax, and look for what I am already doing. Quit doing things the way you want when you want it. Relax and look for what I'm already doing. You got to learn to live in this receptive mode, okay? You're waiting. You're waiting. You're waiting to hear from me. You're waiting for me, trusting in my timing. Okay, you're living in this receptive mode, waiting for me. You're trusting in my timing. You're not actively trying to force me to do what you want when you want it. You're actually just relaxing and looking for what I've already put in front of you. Okay, so live in that receptive mode, waiting for me and trusting in my timing. Okay, I am good to those who wait hopefully and expectantly for me. That would be you guys. Every day, just right before the show, I was out there. I was just about to go start doing my prayer session before the show. And I heard one of you guys out there kind of looking at the clock going, oh, he's probably doing prayers right about now. And I was just about to go start. So you are receptive to me. So seek to be increasingly receptive and responsive to me. I am always actively involved in your life. Don't try to force me to do what you want when you want it. Relax. Look for what I'm doing already. Okay? And such, when you're in that receptive mode, you're waiting for me. Well, while we're waiting, we do our salvage work, right? These days are rough, and you can't be depressed all day. We got to recover each day, all right? Because each day is a gift, all right? So, I am good to those who wait, hopefully, aren't I? You guys were waiting, hopefully, and I'm good to you, right? Okay. You're waiting expectantly for me to go live. So I answer that. I go live. I am good to those who are waiting, hopefully and expectantly for me, aren't I? Yeah, I am. So ask me to open your eyes to see all that I have for you. There's more than just this show and these miracles and these clouds. It's in your everyday life. So ask me to open your eyes to see all that I have for you. And such awareness helps you live responsively. Again, receptive mode, responsively, and ready to do my will. My followers often fail to see the many blessings I shower on them. They're so busy looking for other things that they miss what is right before them, or they miss what is right on the way. They forget that I am a sovereign God and that the timing of events is my prerogative. I want you to trust me enough to let me lead. Just like when a couple is dancing, one of them has to lead and the other has to follow. Otherwise, there's confusion and awkwardness, right? So, dance with me. Follow my lead, and I will guide you gracefully through your life. I like to guide you gracefully because I have a good intentions for you. They may be radically different from what you hoped or expected, but they are nonetheless good. Do you hear me? Where's the heart one? There, that heart right there, get it nice and big. I want that heart right up in your face right there. I want you to understand that I have good intentions for you. They may be radically different from what you hoped or expected. You know what that means? That means that the rapture that was hoped and expected is radically different, isn't it? My intentions may be radically different from what you hoped or expected. Post-trib, pre-trib, rapture, this, that. Nope, it's radically different from what you hoped or expected. It's actually better than what you hoped or expected because it's real and true. They're radically different from what was hoped or expected, but still nonetheless good. Okay? I am light, and in me there is no darkness at all. So look for my light in all your circumstances. Okay? Even negative circumstances still have my light in there. You got to reach for it there. Okay, so look for my light in all your circumstances. I am abundantly present in your moments. Your assignment is to be open to me and open to my ways within you. Sometimes this requires relinquishing things you had planned or dreamed, like the rapture, post, mid, trib, whatever. It requires you relinquishing things you had dreamed or planned. Well, when you relinquish the idea that you're going to turn into a little white ball of light and zip up into the clouds like Hollywood had you, and you accept that you're actually caught up with me in the clouds. We meet in the air every night as a family because I can't come over. I'm kind of physically incapacitated. So we meet in the air. Yeah, when you relinquish that the rapture is this white dot going up into the air, and that you relinquish that the word rapture is not in the Bible, that it talks about getting caught up, that the things you planned and dreamed, you have to relinquish that. It's different. It's radically different from what you expected. You need to remember and believe that my way is perfect, no matter how hard it is. Okay, we're testing your character. It's going to get hard. How do we get the good results out of a character test? We don't kind of push you a little bit and test to see what kind of character you have. So it's gonna it will be hard, but remember, I am a shield for all who take refuge in me. So when you're feeling afflicted or afraid, that's when you come to me and say, Lord, I take refuge in you. When you do that, okay, that's for your mental health, okay? But I don't shield you from things I intend for you to deal with. Okay, you can't just pray away something that I intend for you to overcome. It's not like you just get to pray it away. No, you're going to overcome it. Okay, so a lot of times you're praying for this and praying for that. I need you to understand and remember, I don't shield you from things that I intend for you to deal with, for you to have an important part to play in this world. I protect you from more dangers and troubles than you can imagine. So make every effort to live the life I have designed for you. And do this in a joyful dependence on me, and your soul will be richly satisfied. Isn't it? You guys are richly satisfied now. Because you make every effort to live your life the way I've assigned you. You have found a way to overcome your circumstances and do this in joyful dependence on me. When you're doing this in joyful dependence on me, your soul is richly satisfied. Is it not? Yes, it is. That's why we're here. Because I love to satisfy you. I love to. My joy is when you guys grasp these concepts. These concepts are simple, but they've been warped and twisted and demented by the deciphering of old texts and stuff, okay? I am trying to tell you. I continually invite you to draw near me. Come to me, beloved. I invite you to draw near me. Be still in my presence and fix your thoughts on me. Take a deep breath. This is our closer here, okay, you guys? I'm talking to my beloved, the people that I love, the people that love me, my beloved. Come to me, beloved. I continually invite you to draw near me. I'm continually rapturing you. It's ongoing right now. Here I am in the clouds. You can get caught up with me in the clouds. Okay? I continually invite you to draw near me. How do you draw near me? Take a deep breath. Exhale and be still in my presence and fix your thoughts on me. Another deep breath. Relax and listen to my love whispering into your heart. Relax. Listen to my love whispering into your heart. You see that image right there? I have loved you with an everlasting love. Meditate on the glorious truth that I am now with you, always with you. Would you realize the glorious truth that I am here back now with you? You can now build your life on this rock-solid reality. Do you hear me? I have loved you with an everlasting love. You need to concentrate, pray, and meditate on the glorious truth that I am back. I am now here with you right now. You are in my presence. You look at that and you can build your life on this rock solid reality. This world right now is constantly in flux. It's constantly changing. And you will find no solid ground there. You will find no solid ground in this world that's in flux. So, I challenge you to remain aware of me as you go about your day. You won't be able to do this perfectly, but I will help you when you ask. You can pray, Jesus, keep me aware of your presence. That's a good one. That's a good one. That takes your mind off of your situation at the moment, and you are taking your attention away from that problem, and you are saying, Jesus, keep me aware of your presence. When you do that, I answer that. I do. So let these words echo through your heart and mind frequently, all the time. Keep me aware of your presence. Keep me aware of your presence. Jesus, please keep me aware of your presence. Instead of cursing, Jesus Christ, try changing it to Jesus, keep me aware of your presence. Because that turned it into a prayer, and now those words echo through your heart and mind. Did you know that? Did you know that when you're praying that those words echo through your heart and mind? So, though your thoughts will sometimes go elsewhere, this simple prayer can draw you back to me. And the more of me you have in your life through staying close to me, the more joyful you will be, and the more I can bless others through you. Ta-da! The more of me you have in your life by staying close to me means seeing stuff from my perspective. When you see from my perspective, your problems are small. There's no mistakes. They're all opportunities. You have shelter in me. The more of me you have in life, staying close to me, the more joyful you become. And the more I can work through you and bless the others through you. You become a vessel now in which I get to bless others through you. Pretty cool. And you guys are doing awesome. You really are. For those of you who don't get it right away, don't believe me right away, just keep working at it, okay? It's baby steps, but there's no actual baby steps in here. Every step is a huge leap and a bound. It's just a different pace that people go at, okay? So the more you trust me and lean on me, the more you will get your peace that transcends everything. I've shown you that your mistakes are not mistakes, they're opportunities. Your life is a test of character, okay? You're being tested on your character and your faith. All right? We're chalking up spiritual victories as we wait. Okay, you're waiting with me. I got a few last sheep to go gather. I got to round them up, teach them these qualities here so we can move, right? So while we're waiting, I'm showing you how to salvage your day, okay? You're going to have good days, bad days, and you're going to have days where they're both good and bad. Something's going to come along, Schumann spike, something like that's going to come along and try to ruin your day. Satan's going to come along, try to ruin your day. Don't let it work, okay? It might take a little work, a little time. Lord, help me regain my composure. Give me your heartfelt prayer, lay into me, Jesus. Instead of complaining, turn your complaint into a prayer and be like, Jesus, please help me with the people that are irritating me. People driving around on their cell phones, going to kill somebody. It's irritating me. Lord, please help me with that. And we work on cleaning up our side of the street, okay? And keeping peace and relax. Know that this is really happening, that the peace you have transcends the circumstances, all right? And when you can salvage your day and put on an authentic smile, not a fake smile, then you can reach into other people's life with an authentic smile, with real light shining from your face, my light shining through you into other people's lives. And let's go get them. We got to chalk up as many as we can before the finish line. You guys are doing awesome. You're actually applying this and finding results. And that's what this is all about. Okay, it's not about, hey, look at me, I need subscribers, blah, 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 I'm going to make a bunch of money on YouTube. No, 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 no. This is the real deal, and I'm here to help. If you like the help, participate. If you don't, well, then you'll find that you're going to need it later on here pretty soon. I'm just giving you guys some of the tools to use right now. I'm also giving you glimpses of your victory already. Okay, so don't give up. Just keep trying to salvage each day the best you can. It's progress, not perfection. It's perfection when you go through me. You pray to Jesus. Together, make perfection. Okay? I love you guys. All right? It's been really hard to do, and I'm not very good at doing this. I'm just a regular guy who does his thing. Okay, and if you like what I do, well, then you follow me like on YouTube. That's a follower, like following on Facebook. All right, and if you see my face here in the clouds and it's intriguing and you're getting caught up in it, like caught up in a good book, or you get caught up in a good song, or, caught up in a good YouTube live stream, or, hey, caught up in TikTok for 4 hours where you're in another realm and you don't even realize where you are. That's caught up. So when you see a real miracle like this that happens on Easter, 2,000-year-old prophecy come true, in the clouds, you get caught up. This is my face with a crown over it. On Easter, this is me in the clouds coming with power and great glory. You are fascinated. You're caught up with me in the clouds. I can't come over right now because I'm in a skin suit right now. I would love to stop by and give you a big old hug, Eli. Then you would know. Okay? But I can't come over. The only way is to meet in the air. So I live stream every night around midnight. So the first thing during your day, now that it's changed midnight and it's the turn of a new day, the first thing that was on your mind on the change of a day was Jesus. Well done. Well done. I hope you guys find peace in this. I hope it brings hope and strength. And Eli, hang in there, bud. Keep working at it. You'll get it here pretty soon, all right? For those of you who are finding results, I am so thankful and so happy for you, okay? This is really the real thing. Okay? I've been through a lot. I will tell you my testimony on one live stream some night when we're not doing all the other reports and stuff. And you'll get a little background to how we really got here to this point, okay? I've been through a lot. And I get joy when you guys catch on, okay? I love you. I miss you. You are indeed precious to me. You are part of the family. You are building a relationship with me. It's not a religion. It's a relationship. You see, I know everything about you already, but you're getting to know me. Okay? And if you want to get to know me, go look in the Bible. All my character is explained in the Bible, so you'll recognize me when I come back. But apparently nobody read their Bible. They're looking at Hollywood and waiting for rapture. Well, we are in that time. You are caught up with me in the clouds. You're the lucky ones. You're the ones that have been technically raptured. If you believe me, that's the important thing. That's why it's about belief. The moment you believe me, then all of a sudden your faith is completed. You now know. I complete your faith. We are in the salvage business. I take old broken down things and I restore them. I make them better than they were before. That's salvage work. That's what you guys do too. You're salvage business too. You're salvaging your day, aren't you? And you're having success at it. Maybe not every time. Boy, sometimes I hear you guys out there and you get frustrated. Try taking a nap sometimes, okay? If it's not working totally perfect, sometimes we're hungry, tired, exhausted, so it's good to sometimes take a nap if you're not getting good results, all right? But we always try to recover our day if something takes it down, all right? And then you try to bring that salvage work and that light, that hope, that strength, that spirit into other people's lives. That's how it's done. I love you all. I miss you all. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. I have been for a while. And I'm still to come. He is the Christ who's coming quickly. I just showed you that. I love you. I miss you. And until my next show, bye. I'll be back.